The Miami Heat is in desperate need of efficient scorers after finishing each of the last 3 regular seasons with one of the NBA's 10 worst defensive ratings. So the Heat traded for one of the most efficient scorers in the league this past offseason, acquiring veteran guard Norman Powell from the Los Angeles Clippers in July. Powell flashed that scoring touch in just his second preseason game with the Heat, finishing Monday night's 103-93 exhibition loss to the Milwaukee Bucks at Kaseya Center with a game-high 18 points on 6 of 12 shooting from the field, 3 of 6 shooting from three-point range, and 3 of 3 shooting from the foul line in only 16 first-half minutes. Powell was then given the second half off. I remember a game 2 years ago where we were right with the Clippers and then he had 3 threes. Heat coach Erik Spoelstra recalled following Powell's impressive preseason showing on Monday. He literally had 3 straight possessions, and then all of a sudden the game went to double digits and the game was basically over. You can see his ignitability. I like what he can do on the drive. He can really get hot from 3. Guys were finding him, and I think we can definitely build on that. Powell's 18-point performance on Monday comes after he scored just 5 points in 14 first-half minutes in Saturday's Heat preseason opener in Puerto Rico. Just finding my spots, letting the offense work, Powell, 32, said when asked what was working for him on Monday. We're emphasizing pace, space, and playing quicker. I'm not one to force looks or shots or anything like that. They know what I can do, they know what I bring to the table. But it's just getting comfortable, finding the chemistry and flow with the guys on the floor. But I just look to be a little more aggressive and looking for my shots and looking for openings that are in the flow of the offense. The Heat will rely on Powell to carry a heavier offensive burden while guard Tyler Herro is sidelined for at least the first month of the season after undergoing ankle surgery on September 19th. Herro averaged a team-high 23.9 points per game for the Heat last regular season. Powell is not a bad scoring option to rely on while Herro is out, as Powell was among just 6 NBA players who averaged at least 21 points per game, while shooting better than 48% from the field and better than 40% from three-point range last regular season. The others with Nikola Jokic, Kevin Durant, Karl-Anthony Towns, Zach LaVine, and Kawhi Leonard. Powell produced all-star caliber numbers last regular season, averaging a career-high 21.8 points to go with 3.2 rebounds, 2.1 assists, and 1.2 steals per game, while shooting 48.4% from the field and 41.8% on 7.1 three-point attempts per game for the Clippers. I know people want me to score and want to see the good numbers and everything that I put up last year, Powell said, with the Heat continuing its 6-game preseason schedule on Wednesday against the San Antonio Spurs at Kaseya Center, 7:30 p.m., FanDuel Sports Network Sun, and NBA TV. I know that will come when the regular season comes. But it's all about getting into rhythm, getting into the flow, getting everybody involved and feeling comfortable and good about how we want to play offensively and defensively. Oladipo shines. It was only the preseason, but guard Victor Oladipo's first game back on an NBA court since suffering a torn patellar tendon in his left knee as a member of the Miami Heat in April 2023 was especially meaningful. More than 2 years after that injury, Oladipo returned to an NBA court as a member of a Chinese professional team, the Guangzhou Long Lions. With the Lions taking on the San Antonio Spurs in an exhibition game on Monday at Frostbank Center, Oladipo impressed with 20 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 5 steals. It's been really inspiring, Spoelstra said following Tuesday's practice when asked about Oladipo's journey. I know the guys who have been working him out this summer. They actually worked out my nephew. So I spent a lot of time with his workout guys, and they were giving me updates all summer long. They've really been making a lot of progress. Not only is he healthy, it looks like he's having fun. It looks like he has a joy for being healthy again. It looks like he's moving very well. It's really a beautiful thing to see. Oladipo, 33, spent parts of 3 seasons with the Heat before being traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder during the 2023 offseason. He worked out for NBA teams this summer in hopes of making a return to the league. Injury report after missing the Heat's first 2 preseason games, guards Kasparas Jakušionis, sprained left wrist, Pelle Larsson, left quad contusion, and Davion Mitchell, calf soreness, returned to take part in some of practice on Tuesday. Their status for Wednesday's exhibition matchup against the Spurs remains up in the air. Heat guards Terry Rozier, strained left hamstring, and Herro, left ankle surgery, and forward Simone Fontecchio, left lower leg tightness, were held out of practice on Tuesday and aren't expected to play in Wednesday's preseason game. They say I might have tweaked it during the game on Saturday, which I didn't even realize it or notice. Fontecchio said Tuesday of his leg injury, which hasn't yet required an MRI. And then after a couple of days, it started to be symptomatic and it started to swell up a little bit. So it's just taking a day at a time and seeing how it goes. It shouldn't be nothing crazy, hopefully, but just trying to be cautious and make sure that I'm perfectly healthy. 2 games into the preseason slate for the Miami Heat, and there are reasons to have concerns. Notably, the lack of true ball handlers is apparent as Miami committed 13 turnovers in the first half against Milwaukee. But there have been some bright spots along the way, and one of them has been the play of Kel'el Ware. And there is one component of his game he has been trying to work on this preseason that could unlock an array of possibilities for the Heat. Kel'el Ware is starting to hit from downtown. Last year, Ware was tasked with being a true center to allow Bam Adebayo to roam around a bit more when the two were paired together. For his rookie campaign, Ware wound up making a total of 35 three-pointers for the entire season. This tracked with what he did in college, where he essentially averaged 0.5 made three-point shots per game during his 2 years split between Oregon and Indiana. But in a game only the most dedicated of Heat fans paid attention to, where Summer League finale opened the door for a greater green light. Back on July 14th against Boston, Ware wound up playing a bit of the 4 spot as UDFA Vladislav Goldin played as a true center. The end result was Ware going 3-3 from 3 en route to a 21 points, 15 rebound game. This preseason, Ware has already knocked down 3 shots from deep, including 2 against the Bucks on Monday night. No one is expecting Miami to morph into the second coming of the Boston Celtics, but if Ware starts hitting from deep, it opens up so many possibilities for this offense. Suppose opposing defenses have to come out and start respecting Ware from beyond the arc. In that case, the paint will begin to open up for Miami, in addition to creating some offensive rebounding opportunities now that the opposing 5 has been drawn out. Ware's play through 2 games this preseason creates some intriguing decisions Erik Spoelstra is going to have to make, namely, how to handle the rotation of Ware, Adebayo, and Nikola Jovic. But it would be a good problem for Miami to have if what we have seen in the last 3 games from Ware, including Summer League, isn't just a flash in the pan. The Miami Heat have always thrived on bold decisions. With Bam Adebayo anchoring the defense, Tyler Herro driving the offense, and Norman Powell, acquired this offseason, ready to bring veteran scoring and stability, this team has a strong core in place. Still, there's a sense that Miami could be one major move away from something bigger. According to Greg Swartz of Bleacher Report, that something could be Zion Williamson. In a recent feature highlighting one ambitious trade target for every team, Swartz linked Williamson to Miami, a move that could completely change the direction of the franchise. Zion to Miami? At 25, Zion Williamson remains one of the most gifted offensive players in the NBA when available. The New Orleans Pelicans forward has career averages of 24.7 points, 6.6 rebounds, and 4.3 assists. Zion's combination of power, agility, and passing touch makes him a nightmare to defend and an ideal pairing with Adebayo. Together, they could form one of the most unique front courts in basketball. Adebayo's defense and playmaking would ease the physical load on Zion. Spacing from Herro and Powell would give him room to attack downhill. And under Erik Spoelstra, Miami's structure and conditioning could bring out the best version of him yet. The Williamson trade gamble. Landing Zion wouldn't come cheap. The Heat would almost certainly try to hold on to Herro, but the Pelicans would likely ask for him in any serious negotiation. Miami would also need to include multiple future picks and one of its young forwards, such as Nikola Jovic or Jamie Jaquez Jr. That's a steep price for a player with a complicated injury history. Zion has missed significant time throughout his career and remains under contract through 2028. Still, when he's on the floor, he's a top 20 talent, the kind of player who can change a franchise's direction almost overnight. For Miami, it would come down to risk versus reward, and how much belief they have in their culture to bring out Zion's best version. The bottom line for the Heat. Right now, it's just a hypothetical. But if the Pelicans ever decide to reset, Miami should be one of the first teams to call. A frontcourt built around Zion Williamson and Bam Adebayo would give the Heat new life, a blend of youth, power, and potential the franchise hasn't seen in years. As Schwartz suggested, it's ambitious. But for a team searching for its next leap forward, it might be the kind of risk worth exploring.